Okay, so that's sort of funny enough, piggybacks a little bit off that question, I think. When it comes to like children or raising children, which yeah, like I've always been super on board with like objectivism and the idea of like, I'm like, cool, great, I don't need any of that stuff. But thinking about perhaps like having children in the coming years, I do start to find myself thinking about it a little different in terms of like exposing them to religion or like superstitious ideas and just like the development of a child's mind and the ability to like handle such complex concepts. You know, I just wanted to see if either any of you guys had thoughts on, you know, if it's okay to expose a child to like superstitious ideas at certain stages and then, you know, maybe pare it away or allow them to, how do I guess, expose them with that and still allow them to make up their mind, you know?
So I don't think that, you know, part of what you do as a parent is expose the kids to all the ideas out there so they can make up their mind, which one is true. You expose them to the best of your understanding what the truth is. Now, you know, there's a little bit of disagreement among objectivists about this, but I couldn't do the Santa Claus thing and the tooth fairy thing. I mean, it's BS. So, you know, I couldn't keep a straight face with my kids if I did that. So I never exposed my kids to any superstition in that sense. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but, and they were never exposed to religion. I mean, they were, I mean, my oldest son's first exposure to religion was in preschool where somebody said, "God bless you." And he came and he said, as one word, "What does God bless you mean?" He had no, your God was not anything. And so we had a small conversation about it. And, you know, we didn't talk much about religion because I think if you raise them without it, it never becomes an issue. It's like, yeah, it's reality and, you know, people believe in stuff, but okay, I don't see it, right? So you don't have, I don't see where it comes in where you need to expose them to all these things. You have to explain why other people believe in these things, why other people might have these ideas, and you have to teach them not to go around advocating for their atheism at age 5, which was a little tricky with my older one, but which was, I mean, it was a lot of funny stuff that, you know, that came about around that, but you know, you got to teach them about reality, about truth.
So, I mean, a lot depends on what we mean by expose here, because it's not, to raise good objectivist children, you blindfold them from certain, it's like, you got to expose your kids to reality. You have to expose your kids to reality, again, on a responsible, gradual basis and so on, and it doesn't mean you say, okay, this 6-month period, we're going to live like mystics, or so. It's like, no, but no, you have to expose them to, as Yaron said, of course, gee, Johnny's family celebrates this Christmas thing, or they celebrate Yom Kippur, or whatever it might be. So you're not shielding them from reality. You're willing to talk about when they come home from school with different ideas and so on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
yeah, I would say the key thing to what both of you had said is you don't BS the kid. So it's, and you treat a kid with the respect that he or she deserves. So the Santa Claus kind of thing. It's, kids don't like pretend and make, so you can't tell them, no, we pretend there's a Santa Claus and he comes down, and oh no, that's going to ruin everything for them. No, the kids love make-believe and pretend. So, I mean, that's what my parents did. I never thought there was a Santa Claus, but it was fun, Christmas was fun. And in regard to God and religion, my parents did not raise us religious, but never shielded us either. But if I went to, I mean, this Catholic school. And I mean, my attitude is I was reading Spider-Man comics, and I was learning about Noah's Ark. And my Spider-Man comics with radioactive spiders and so on is more sophisticated and believable. No, I mean, really, than Noah's Ark. And I don't believe Spider-Man's real. Why are you going to believe? And then if my parents BS'd me and said, no, but this is much more respectable and you have to take this much more seriously, that would be corrupt. But if I come and say, like, this looks more sophisticated, yeah, it is more sophisticated. That's the end of the story.
Thanks.
I wonder if I can ask you to capsulize. I know this is difficult. Can I ask you to capsulize your philosophy? What is Randism?
First of all, I do not call it Randism, and I don't like that name.
All
I call
right.
it objectivism,
All right.
meaning a philosophy based on objective reality. Now let me explain it as briefly as I can. First, my philosophy is based on the concept that reality exists as an objective absolute, that man's mind, reason, is his means of perceiving it, and that man needs a rational morality. I am primarily the creator of a new code of morality which has so far been believed impossible, namely a morality not based on faith.
On
or
faith.
Not on faith, not on arbitrary whim, not on emotion, not on arbitrary edict, mystical or social, but on reason, a morality which can be proved by means of logic, which can be demonstrated to be true and necessary.
How does objectivism differ from the philosophies that many of us have been exposed to in our youths? Philosophies based upon religions, theologians, dogmatists.
The very first difference, objectivism tells you that it is not right, it is not proper to man to take anything on faith. Religion is a matter of faith. You accept a religion emotionally or because you were born to it. You have not chosen it rationally. What objectivism will tell you is that reason, man's reason is his basic means of survival. That is the most important faculty which he has, and he has to guide his life and make his choices by means of his rational faculty. He has to make his own choices, but he has to know how to make them. It is immoral for him to act on his emotions, to be guided by the whim of the moment. That objectivism holds as very wrong, very immoral. And morality, in fact, consists of following your reason to the best of your ability. So that rationality is the basic virtue from which all the others proceed.
My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. And since man's mind is his basic means of survival, I hold that if man wants to live on earth and to live as a human being, he has to hold reason as an absolute, by which I mean that he has to hold reason as his only guide to action, and that he must live by the independent judgment of his own mind, that his highest moral purpose is the achievement of his own happiness, and that he must not force other people, nor accept their right to force him, that each man must live as an end in himself and follow his own rational self-interest.
Tell me the value of selfishness.
Use another word, self-esteem. The value of selfishness is that you esteem yourself as a value, that you live according to your nature, which means by the judgment of your own mind, and you respect your own mind, you respect your own ability to do the right thing, therefore you respect the possibility of being a morally virtuous person, and you regard yourself as a value worth preserving. To make a success of yourself in any line of rational activity is a great virtue. And people will attack you for exercising your ability, for hard work, for consistency, for ambition. And they will want to make you feel guilty of it. That is the greatest evil, according to my philosophy.
And wait, say that again. The greatest evil, according to your philosophy, is to attack an individual because of virtue.
What I call it is to experience or act on hatred of the good for being the good. That is attacking people for their virtues, for their achievements, for anything they have which is a value, actually, not for their flaws and not for their evil. In fact, people who preach that are the ones who are mawkish about the evil people, the failures, the liars, the cheats, everybody who is weak suddenly acquires some kind of value. But anyone who is a success has to be attacked for his success.
And look at how you have been attacked.
Oh, I know.
How you have been criticized. That there are
You
many,
know that?
There are many people in this country, forgive me, in this world who think you're daft.
They don't. They want you to think that.